The 38th Infantry Regiment was constituted on May 15, 1917, and organized shortly afterward at Syracuse, New York, as the United States prepared to enter the Great War. It was assigned to the newly formed 3rd Infantry Division, a unit destined to face some of the toughest battles in Europe. The regiment first entered combat during the Second Battle of the Marne in July 1918. German forces attempted to break Allied lines along the Marne River, but the 38th and its division refused to yield ground. Their unwavering defense earned the 3rd Infantry Division the immortal nickname Rock of the Marne. This title became a permanent part of the 38th Infantry Regiment's identity. By the war's end, it had taken part in the Saint-Mihiel and Meuse-Argonne offensives, helping drive the enemy back until the armistice in November 1918. Following the war, the 38th Infantry Regiment returned home in 1919. Over the next 2 decades, it cycled through several stateside camps, adapting to new technologies and training methods as mechanization began to reshape infantry doctrine. The 1930s saw fluctuating manpower and reorganizations, including battalion inactivations and reactivations, but the regiment's core mission remained unchanged: train for a future war that many believed was inevitable. By the end of the decade, as Europe once again erupted into conflict, the 38th strengthened and modernized, preparing for its next major test. At the outbreak of World War II, the 38th Infantry Regiment found itself assigned to the famed 2nd Infantry Division. Following the attack on Pearl Harbor, the unit transitioned into a true combat force, shaping raw recruits into disciplined soldiers ready to fight across the globe. The regiment would ultimately earn campaign honors in Normandy, northern France, Rhineland, Ardennes, Alsace, Central Europe. The motto earned in France in 1918, Rock of the Marne, followed them into this new conflict, symbolizing resilience in the face of overwhelming odds. The 38th landed in Normandy after D-Day, entering the brutal hedgerow-to-hedgerow fighting of the French countryside. Every advance was contested. Every field was a fortress. From the breakout across France into Belgium and Germany, the regiment continually pressed the offensive. During the bitter winter of 1944-45, the unit fought in the Ardennes during the Battle of the Bulge, holding defensive lines, counterattacking, and pushing German forces back into their homeland. The regiment finished the war deep inside Germany, a battle-hardened force that had helped secure Allied victory in Europe. Not long after World War II, the 38th Infantry Regiment was again thrust into a major conflict, this time on the Korean Peninsula. It played a critical role in defensive operations against early North Korean advances, the UN counteroffensive pushing north, fighting through brutal winters and mountainous terrain, halting Chinese intervention forces, holding the line throughout shifting phases of the war. Combat in Korea tested the regiment's endurance in ways unlike Europe: close-quarters mountain warfare, sudden offensives, and relentless enemy pressure. After Korea, the regiment continued to serve as part of U.S. forward presence and deterrence missions during the tense Cold War years. It underwent several administrative changes as the Army modernized its structure, transitioning into the Combat Arms Regimental System and later the U.S. Army Regimental System. Elements of the regiment continued to serve in active and training roles, ensuring the next generation of soldiers inherited both skills and legacy. The unit's distinctive insignia, featuring a stone symbolizing the Marne defense, reflects more than history. It symbolizes identity. From the trenches of World War I to the frozen ridges of Korea, through reorganizations, new doctrines, and evolving warfare, the 38th Infantry Regiment has remained a steadfast example of American infantry valor. Their legacy rests in determination under fire, strength in defense, relentless offensive action when called upon. For over a century, the regiment has embodied the spirit of its motto, Rock of the Marne, unshaken, unyielding, unbroken. Make sure to give this a like and subscribe to see much more of this sort of content.